Hello, my name is Fox. Today we're gonna talk about if Kuro Games continues to cook fine cuisine or we're at McDonald's level already. Let's cut to the chase, the new patch is a kino. From the start to the finish I was sitting steady on my ass and was fully immersed in the story. Unfortunately, this was not the case with patch 2.4, where I was repeatedly distracted by minor things in the middle of the narrative. I don't think it's bad, but I liked the latest one more. My personal opinion is that Wuthering Waves shines the most in these kinds of personal stories dedicated to a single character from the patch. Thanks to the camera work, a large amount of the cutscenes, the music and the short story, the whole experience feels like watching a movie.
やっと静かになったわ。
どういう意味だ？
混乱したメロディー、いびつな賛美歌、騒がしい命の息吹。
This is almost perfect storyline. Why almost? There are still some elements that I find a bit lacking. Disclaimer: the whole video will be one big spoiler and my own thoughts about it. Let's begin from the good parts. Frollo's facial expressions were so great, they made her personality so vivid, that even I, who was going to skip this character, thought about pulling her. The character dialogues were written so well that you could feel the deep resentment lurking within her. The girl was incredibly hurt, but she still had in mind the person who had broken the promise. And talking about Rover, I'm very pleased that they got a lot of voice acting and participate even more in the story, rather than just standing around, talking and just observing. It was right decision to give the players only 2 playable characters that were present in the story, as this helps to immerse into the story even deeper. Yeah, killing those 4 mobs will take 20 seconds more than one-shotting it with the Karti, but it will diminish the overall experience in my opinion. Practically nothing on the map stops the flow of the story, which was the right decision. Except those gambling boxes.
Let's go gambling! Aw, dang it! Aw, dang it! Aw, dang it! Aw, dang it!
I really like how Kuro continues to convey a mix of technological settings mixed with the different structures from different cultures. Frollo's fate is the best solution story writers came up with. I think I'm not the only one who's tired of the morally grey characters who are portrayed as victims and change their ways in order to join the team. Now let's talk about elements that I think could be better. The patch started very abruptly, the same problem I had in 2.4. Rover is simply thrown into the flow of events from the get-go. I think a small build-up is needed to serve as a bridge between events in form of the side quests. After story quests are a good example, but this could be stretched out a little with more exposition. I think perfect example will be transition from 2.1 to 2.2. Felt a little bit more smoother for me. The underwater facility is a very sudden choice. Perhaps its existence was mentioned somewhere in the story, but unfortunately I didn't see it, so it looked like Deus Ex Machina for me. Maybe my DHGS just missed it in the story. If anyone knows, please write in the comments. Devs need to do something about the cuts in dialogue and music. I really don't like when you take 2 steps and character just stops talking in the middle of the sentence, just because you moved a little bit further than you should have. The same problem occurs with the music. It just stops abruptly sometimes. Another problem that really stands out to me as I play through this story is the scenes on a rail. I understand that this is a mobile game and its story difficulty, but press X to jump puzzles looks strange. They're not even engaging QTEs. In my opinion, the player should have a little bit more freedom in such moments. Just make the penalty for failure minimal. The same applies to the bosses. Since they give trial characters, devs need to make the boss challenging enough to be memorable for players, but not so easy that it takes 30 seconds to defeat it without any difficulty. Trick the player by giving them a difficulty level that makes them think that they've achieved something, even though the fight itself wasn't difficult. A good example, the first boss of Metal Gear Rising. Now, let's talk about the story. I bet there will be plenty of the deep dives on YouTube explaining everything, so I'll just voice how I view it. I'm sure it's not a secret at this point that Rover from the past can be speculated as the controversial character with the controversial decisions. Do they have the right to talk about moral high ground to the girl whom Rover themselves helped to get idea of starting anew, and always look outside of the box to reach her goals? Is Rover a hypocrite? Yes. But does that make Frolova innocent? No. She chose the path she took, albeit under influence of the third party, and she understood perfectly well that what she was doing was evil, but she'd had her own goals to pursue. From Rover's perspective, they encountered a mass murderer, and obviously will not feel much empathy for a person who's trying to achieve her goals by sacrificing human lives. This most likely one of the reasons for erasing their past self, because of realization that such actions would lead nowhere and their cold logic needed a new approach, one that is more human and down to earth. Incidentally, cold logic is what we can observe throughout Frolova's story. Even when she falls after being pierced by a sword, he first reaches for a gem that was stolen, and only then looks coldly at the place where the girl fell and drowned. Bro went straight to the Fenrico like, yeah, fuck that bitch. Throughout the plot of the Wuthering waves, you can see that Rover is rather calm character and most often does not pity his enemies, not being shy from going for a killing blow. From a moral standpoint, Rover's position is correct. Whether a person without a memory is a new person without the sins of their past is another matter. Each person can interpret it in their own way, and I think it's a wonderful way of writing a character. Frolova's resentment, her emotions, are very well written and conveyed, with just one exception. She spoke with Rover exactly once, and her affection and expectations seems overly exaggerated based on a single encounter after the concert. In my opinion, for this scene to feel slightly more authentic, they should have spent at least one day together to convey all emotions and feelings she experienced from their meeting. What else? Well, Fenrico, my boy was killed off pretty quickly. They just speedrun him. But overall, I'm satisfied. It's not often that stories in gacha games bring tears to my eyes and make me sit frozen and just reflect on the emotional damage I got.
I'll perfume your dreams with scent of flowers and song. It matters if it's true. It feels a lot more real when we whistle through the field. When I sing this song for you.
Scenes where Frolova were stalking you now hits very differently. If Kuro games aren't cowards, they leave this character dead in the state she's in. Her story needs to have a dot in the end. But I'm still not gonna pull for her. My savings and funds go to the Yuno. Kuro games, make her tsundere and my life is yours! Can't wait for the next patches. More videos to come. Veep from past, signing out.